Hey guys, hope everyone's enjoying 2K21 so far. I wanted to make a quick video to just explain how I get steals in Domination to evolve my Emerald Evolution cards. So I tweeted out a picture of these last 3 players on my team, and I had a couple people asking me basically the process that I went through to get them all. Now, to get the Ruby Brook Lopez, you have to beat all of the current Domination Eastern teams. So by doing that, you get these 15 cards. To actually get the Brook Lopez, as it says down here in the bottom, you have to fully evolve all the cards in the collection to earn Evolution Brook Lopez. One of the problems with getting that done is that a handful of these cards actually need steals. Now obviously people have been talking about shooting threes, this card in particular is a huge pain, but I talked to a number of people that were having trouble getting steals in the game. Even before there were evolution cards, it's just kind of what I did to make sure that I could beat the teams quickly and make sure I had enough points. So as you can see here, I've made a decent amount of progress in both. I'm kind of torn between what I want to do because some of these all-times are extremely tough. But in this example, current Domination highest difficulty is actually on Hall of Fame. But when you go to Historic, you'll see that the highest difficulty is actually Superstar. So the Historic Domination games are actually a little bit easier. So we're actually going to do the 1998 Spurs for this game, a team that doesn't have very strong point guards. So we're going to go in, I'm using the Kobe for this because he actually does need steals to evolve. I'm using Jerome Kersey and Kenyon Martin because I want to finish evolving them. I'll use the Brook Lopez too, just so you guys can kind of see what he does. So as you can see, the backcourt and their small forward are not very high overalls. There's a 77, a 75, and a 78. This works on any difficulty against almost any AI. I will say, in all-time Domination, some of the point guards like Gary Payton, Magic Johnson, Steve Nash, John Stockton, those cards are very tough to do this against, but it's just because on the highest difficulty against the best cards, it's just a tough game. So immediately to start out, the first thing you want to do is hit left on the D-pad and then go to a 3-2 zone. Now, the way that this works is we're going to get most of our steals in transition. So now, as you can see, when they're coming up, the thing you want to do is before they can protect themselves, you want to run in. We didn't get the steal there, but as soon as they open up, you want to run at them, press R2 about 10 feet in front of them, and then press the square so that they'll run forward with their arms out. And again, because they don't have very strong guards, we're just going to use Gus Williams, run in and either draw a foul, which you need to take 10 free throws in every game of Domination, or get the free bucket. If you don't have him for Domination, I highly recommend getting Gus Williams because he's the fastest point guard in the game and he's still fairly affordable. Now we're in transition. We're basically letting them get turnovers. Basically, if you bump into them, they'll a lot of the time just make bad passes. So again, sometimes when you run, if you're not far enough over to attack their ball hand, you will foul them. Now obviously another important thing is doing exactly that. You want to stand in the middle of 2 players. Wait, a lot of times in this game, the inbounder will do a pass fake. As soon as they pass fake, you go to the player that doesn't move. It doesn't look like we're going to get the inbound. We attack the ball hand. Sometimes if you flop, you can get what I've been referring to as the corpse steal. But as soon as their player gets disrupted, you attack them with the next closest player, and a lot of times it's like their stamina goes down or their handle gets shaky, and it lets you bump the ball out of their hand. So again, a lot of times you will end up giving up an open 3, but the number of stops you'll get and the number of easy transition buckets you can get, it's not going to be a huge factor. Part of the reason I'm doing this too is I want to get my Kenyon Martin up to 22 points. There you go. It's like that, another inbound. I'm sure you guys have had that animation happen when you're playing in Unlimited too, where the inbounder starts to kind of do a slow turn when they go to pass. As soon as you recognize that, you have to attack whoever they're inbounding it to. But you never want to stand fully in front of them, otherwise they won't try to pass it to them. Another one is on these sideline inbounds. A lot of times they end up throwing it there. I missed it, but they throw it down the sideline to the corner. If you come in from out of position quick enough, a lot of times you can get a steal there too. Again, like I said, you will end up getting some fouls. Now, again, it's not going to work every time. Okay. Again, didn't get it there, but definitely could have been a steal. Now, once you get stuck in a steal animation, if you don't actually get the steal, you want to tap circle immediately so that they stand upright, and then you can continue the animation. Alright, now that should have been another steal there. Kind of getting unlucky on the bumps this time, but that will happen. And like I said, it's not perfect, but this is just what works for me. So see, what I should have done there is waited for the pass fake and then attacked Sean Elliott. But for some reason, Tim Duncan is bringing it up the floor, so we're going to bump him with Dante Exum immediately. As soon as you can get a poor ball handler bringing up the ball, it makes it a lot easier. Okay. Dante Exum there gets the steal again, but fortunately we didn't keep it in bounds. Okay. Another thing is as soon as you can make them get into some dribble animations, it gets way easier to just run in and get the bump steal. Alright, so we'll give that possession up, run at Avery Johnson, and just knock the ball out of his hand. Attacking like. Now we'll just try and do it again. Come across the screen, attack his ball hand, and let him. Oh. There you go. There you go. So as soon as you can get the ball in a bad ball handler's possession, you want to basically just as quick as you can run into them, bump into the hand that the ball is in, and a lot of times they'll just dribble it off your leg. So as you can see, we definitely got enough points. Always make sure you take at least 10 foul shots, and we got 3 with Kobe, so that takes off the total, you know? But the other thing to keep in mind is when I'm doing these, I'm also trying to win, trying to get points, and I'm trying to make the games go as quick as possible. So as you can see here, definitely use someone fast like Gus Williams. If you don't have him, the Emerald Tony Parker, the Gold JJ Barea, I think even Mo Cheeks would work. So again, you're not going to have a ton of steals every game. Some you'll have way more than others. It just kind of does come down to luck. You'll have seen there's a lot that like bobbled and I maybe should have gotten, but I didn't. It's the way that I do it while I'm also finishing out domination. And I'm also busy evolving cards, as you can see. To sum it up, the most important things you can do are, remember, set a 3-2 zone at the very start of the game. When they're coming in transition, attack them at half court by coming across their body to the ball hand. So if they have it in their left hand, they're coming up the left side of the court, you want to start on the right side, run across them, and hit square. That way you'll get into this weird like handout animation, and they'll dribble it off of you more often than not. If you miss the initial steal, bring up the next closest guy and go for them. If both of those guys miss, basically jump at them and they'll drive into your bigs. So you'll either get a block or they'll dribble it off and you can get a steal that way too. As you can see, the cards that I didn't need to shoot threes with all have very high field goal percentages. I'm going to make another video on this, but if you're not using Bruno Fernando from the Hawks and you're playing no money spent, you're doing yourself a disservice. Because over 32 games, he's averaging 11 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block, shooting 75%. Now this is a Sapphire. It's super cheap to keep him with contracts, and he's been my starting center until I got Brook. He might still be better than Brook. And then as you can see, some of my players like Schofield and Sekou are averaging over 2 steals a game. So I'm never focusing on just one player. I'm always trying to evolve as many at a time as I can. But aside from my centers, almost every evolution card I have is averaging over a steal a game. So be patient, try it out. It's something to do while you're evolving other cards. This is definitely not like a, go into pro difficulty and try and spam a bunch of steals. You can do that, but this works against Hall of Fame and Superstar level AI. So that's the reason that I do it this way. I evolved. Steals was probably the easiest thing for me to do. By holding triangle and leading guys to the basket, I got through a lot of the points. Always use as many evolution cards at once as you can, but have them do different things. For instance, if you can have a point guard that you need assists with, 3 players that you need steals with, and a center who needs rebounds, you're in perfect condition because you'll be able to get 5 people evolved at the same time. And with that said, that's just my little rundown of how I evolved all the cards using steals. I've been streaming a ton since the release of 2K21. I plan on doing daily uploads. I am completely no money spent. I'm looking to have Domination completely done by this upcoming weekend. We got a ring. The big thing for me is honestly, I've been spending so much time evolving cards and playing offline that I haven't had a chance to really learn how to shoot with the stick yet. We'll be streaming every day, whether we're sniping, grinding offline, or getting better at playing online. So I hope this helps you guys out. Remember, it is not going to be easy to start with. It's something you kind of have to program your brain to do. And you'll have some games where you get tons of steals and some games where you only get, 8 or 9, but you'll always get at least a couple steals just by doing this. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.